Alright, welcome ladies and gentlemen. I have a lot to cover in this video, so I have to make it fast. But the reason why I'm doing this video, for two reasons. For one, I've done similar videos in the past. In fact, I have an entire playlist dedicated to tips and tricks, but the vast majority are outdated. I do have a good video on there, which is I recommend guides for newer players to play. You should probably check that out. And also, since Smite is coming to the Xbox One, there's going to be a lot of new players to Smite. And here are some things that you probably should know. And of course, when you get into Smite, obviously you want to go through the god roster, get a feel for each god, play some bot matches, play the tutorial, co-op versus AI, things like that. Maybe you like to play FPS games, and you're probably going to enjoy the hunter role. But until you get to the actual PvP, here are some things you should know about the PvP aspect of Smite. Is for one, you probably want to set up your targeter preference. I get asked this quite often when I used to show my targeter in videos. So of course I'm in game now. I'm in a jungle practice. You hit escape, you go to settings, and the first step is the user interface, and on the top left you have an option to show your health. I don't really use this too often. I only use this when I'm playing a support character, and I like to see how my HP is stacking up to the enemy god's HP and see how tanky I am. Besides the fact, I don't really use this too often. It gets a little wonky if you're playing taller characters like Kibo or Hades, things like that. It can get just kind of in your way. So let's turn that off for now. And of course you have the entire, the targeting tab, which for the most part this is self-explanatory, but I'm gonna run through it pretty quickly. The distance line, I like to use the ruler. Pretty much shows me the units between me and whoever I'm facing. This is used quite well in a different subject I'll get into in a little bit. And then you have the line, it's just a line. The ground targeter, since I use quick casting, this has no use for me. All this pretty much is, it kind of shows you where exactly you're facing to place an ability. For example, Artemis, her one is a trap, so it just kind of shows me where I'm going to place it at. That's how that kind of works. Next, we want to get into the reticule. You have an option of X or O, handy for landing basic attacks. As you see here, shows exactly where it's going to land from different angles. And then you have the highlight. What this pretty much is as soon as you are in range of landing a basic attack on an enemy target, they will highlight red, have a bracket around them, things like that, and it just kind of shows you, hey, you can land your basics on that target since they're in that range. And then next we have the cast mode. We have normal casting. All this pretty much means is I hit the number 1, I can take my finger off the number 1 key and I left click and the ability will activate. For me this is a little too slow since Smite is a fairly fast-paced game. It's just too slow for me. I use quick casting. So hold down the number 3 key. As soon as I take my finger off the 3 key, the ability fires. Next we have the instant casting. It's instant casting. I hit the number 1 and her number 1 ability instantly drops. But I like to have a little bit more control of where my abilities are going to go. Also, a little known fact, not too many people actually notice this, including me. I didn't notice this for quite a while. I hit K while I'm in the actual game, and you can see on the very bottom here we have cast mode and we have drop down menus. You can make custom casting options for each and every one of your abilities, so you can kind of suit your needs, I guess you can say. So that pretty much covers the targeting. Next, I recommend mastering all gods. What this pretty much means is getting to the God Mastery 1 rank of each single one of your gods, and that is after 50 worshippers. After you master all gods, or let's say most gods, let's say like 60 or plus or so, it kind of depends on when you watch this video. There might be like 80 gods at one point, but you kind of get the point. What I'm trying to say is mastering all the gods lets you understand the strengths and weaknesses of each god and have that mindset of the player who is playing that god and how they are going to play. It's a really nice experience to have of mastering all the gods, I personally feel. Next, the point I wanted to make earlier is be in range for golden XP from minions. I catch myself being out of range too often. It's a skill I'm trying to work at. So to be in range of getting golden XP from minion waves is roughly 75. I could be wrong. I don't know the exact number, but it's obviously you can get it, with the rulers after the 70 units here. So yeah, just kind of be in knowing of when you're in range to get golden XP, and don't be too far away. or else you could be behind, obviously, in golden XP. Next, map awareness. Map awareness is very important. For example, let's say you're playing arena and you're just casually killing minions, and you don't know that your entire team just went back to go buy items, or they're doing buffs, and you see the enemy team, they're all ready and they're just charging after you, and you just die, and then you're saying, where's my team? Well, that's your fault for not having the map awareness, knowing that your team went to go do jungle buffs on the side, or they went back to base and you're just kind of out of position. It's very important to have that map awareness, and it's a good skill to get better at. Next, listen to sound cues. Sound cues are very, very important. It's a higher skill to have. What sound cues pretty much means is as soon as somebody fires an ability, it makes a sound first, and then the ability activates. That's sort of how it means. For example, I have Artemis here. You guys probably can't hear it, but as soon as I launch her ultimate, she fires a boar out, and the boar makes a sound, and she says, like, "Go Teskey," something like that. Yeah, it just makes a boar snorting sound and things like that. And that's when you know, hey, she just launched her ultimate. That boar is going to be charging out all of us, stunning us all. The more infamous one is Loki. Loki makes a lot of sounds. Like as soon as he goes invisible, he makes that sound, and you know, hey, watch out for Loki. He's invisible. He's probably going for a backline, things like that. Next, note when enemy gods use certain abilities. This is really important. I feel more so for assassins, because assassins, they're extremely vulnerable. As soon as they go in, they're extremely squishy. So, example, if you're an assassin and you're trying to go in on Poseidon, note when he used his Kraken. If he doesn't have his Kraken up, that means he doesn't have that large burst damage where he can just drop it on himself and just kill you. So that's pretty much what that means. Just knowing when the enemy gods use certain abilities that can affect your play or your team's play style, things like that. Next, movements, backpedaling, strafing, and not running away in a straight line. What backpedaling means is just walking backwards. Now in Smite, you do not move as fast going backwards as you do going forwards, and the same with going left and right. Now, backpedaling is bad for the most part, especially when the enemy is running at you. They're moving at you at full speed, and if you're moving backwards away from them, you're moving at like half speed, whatever the speed is. You're not moving as fast going backwards, and they will eventually catch you. Strafing is very important, also known as juking, when you're just trading out, ranged basic attacks, things like that. But make sure you're not strafing too much where you can't land your basic attacks. And also, not running away in a straight line. I hate seeing this. It makes me cringe. Like, let's say you're fighting against an enemy team that has Raw, and you're badly injured, and you run away in a straight line. Well, that Raw can easily predict where you're moving, since you're just moving away in a straight line, and he can just fire his ultimate just straight at you, and you will get hit. Running away in a straight line, I don't recommend it, because the Jonas ultimate just fires it right at you because you're running away in a straight line. I hate seeing that happen when you just run away in a straight line. You get kind of punished for running away in a straight line. Next, basic attacking. Basic attacking is kind of weird. Not really weird, it's just you have to understand it. Is as soon as you fire a basic attack, you have this movement speed penalty where you can't move as fast while firing. And the item to make that kind of go away is, I don't know why I brought that up. Let's get to the platform here. Is the Hasten Fatalis. This passive, when a basic attack hits a target, the attacking movement speed debuff is removed for you for 1 second, and that 1 second refreshes each time you make a basic attack. So as you saw before, I was kind of slow when firing. Now, as soon as I land my basic attacks, I can move very, very fast. I do not have that penalty for making a basic attack on a target. So that is very important when basic attacking. Next, know when to return to base. I see this also too often where your teammate is just killing minions out, like let's say in arena, he's just in the middle killing minions, and he has like less than 20% HP, and he's just killing minions, and he gets punished for it. You have to know when to go back, when to go get mana, know when to go get HP. And also another important fact is don't return to base when your team is about to make a team fight and they need you. Because if you go back to base while they're about to go, initiate and make a team fight, then they're fighting 4v5 and you're just kind of in base and you're like, oh man, my bad. And also, I'd recommend watching pro players. Pro players mostly stream. They don't do too much YouTube, but they also do YouTube. So I would recommend watching some pro players, learn from them, things like that. So yeah, that pretty much wraps up for the build video. It's probably a little bit longish, but thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.